So here we are. I have spent the last 20 minutes trying to gather up my Dear Jane, and I printed off what I thought according to my electric quilter program. I thought what I was supposed to be doing, and then I spent another 15-20 minutes looking for my book, and I have no idea. This is like an unveiling. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be next block I'm supposed to be doing. So it looks like it's potentially C4 tic-tac-toe, which does line up with what Electric Quilter said in the pattern. Uh-oh, what's in this box? This is the box of, okay, so I started something. C12 family reunion. Okay, so I didn't print off something. Oh, that's not Dear Jane. So I started on the wrong block. And here, oh, here they are, my lovelies. These are not in order at all. I should put these on the design wall. Okay, so these are current work. Oh, and now let's see what I have. I think this is all I have for the fabric, so I know I'm going to have to blend in other fabrics that go with this. So here's the white. Okay, all right. I have a pretty good amount of this modern William Morris. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. This is not exactly what I remembered that I left. So, what has the pandemic taught me? That I am a maximalist and I have stuff everywhere. And this is why I knew going into Dear Jane it's going to be a long work in progress, but it's so hard to pick up where you left off. Let's see what these look like on the design wall. Well, there are all my blocks. It's like looking at old friends again. Okay, so I'm not so bad. I have 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 of these blocks done. I'm going to have to just think about what Dear Jane is teaching me, and then I'll get back to you. I'm going to start working on the next block. Well, no, I'm going to finish up the one that I have started, and then I'm going to work on the next block that I printed off. I'd like to share some of the things that I have gleaned from doing a Dear Jane. I start with some of the assumptions that I make about Jane. Jane made this quilt during the Civil War. It was probably because she could do it. She must have been a very good seamstress. She must have had some eye for design. She must have been working in a series because you can see some of the things that are repeated over and over, such as the points going towards the corner, some of the orange peel, like the pink and the green on the right, back to pink. She had some guts to try new things and to try things that were super tiny. She must have been working with tiny scraps. Maybe fabric wasn't easy to come by during the Civil War. I would assume that Jane did this because she needed something to keep her mind occupied. Let's look at the last two rows here. Jane didn't lead a charmed life from what I can read in the Dear Jane book, but she made one fabulous quilt. So those are some of my assumptions. Now, what I have learned by doing my own quilt is things like the process is everything. It really is. Why would I work on something like this during a pandemic is when I started it last year during lockdown, for the same reasons that Jane made hers. I was looking for something to keep me occupied, something that was a challenge, and boy did I find it here. What I've walked away from after working on this a year is that it's okay to put it in timeout for a little while, because you need time to just let it rest. I got frustrated with the last block evidently, and I threw it in that bin. I also learned that this is all about the process. It's about learning. It's about practicing new techniques. It's about color and fabric choices. And I'm going to have to take a chance and walk away from this curated collection and add my own fabrics from a collection and blend them together and truly work with scraps. I'm going to focus on this row here for a minute. I also learned that it's all about the process, right? I have to lose my perfectionistic streak. That's why I stopped here, because each one of these blocks has a few things that I am not 100% satisfied with, but I'm striving for improvement. I've learned that I have to keep myself more organized, and that book is worth so much money, $100 to $150 to buy it on the secondary market. And I need the book as well as the electric quilter program that I have for the pattern pieces to print them out, as well as I need a box to keep it all in, and I need to keep it organized and make notes. I also learned that I have a Cricut and that I may be able to use it to cut out these tiny pieces, which sometimes, especially these applique pieces, the orange peel shapes, that I need to use my Cricut to help cut out accurate pieces. So those are the things that I have learned so far in making a Dear Jane. The other thing I've learned is it's okay if at some point during making all of these blocks that I decide I don't want to make all of them. If I make all of the blocks plus the triangles, it's 225 little 4.5-inch blocks. And the triangles I've never tried to make. They are intriguing and would be an experiment to quilt. I know right off the bat I do not want to make scalloped edges. But those are the things I've walked away from so far. Be patient. Take your time. One block may take me hours or a week. I don't have to strive for it to be perfect. This purple one in the middle has a really big, that gap there. This one's a teeny bit wonky. You know, I can point out all of the things wrong with them, but they are little jewels, little tiny precious jewels, because it's so much time and energy that I've put in to all of these blocks. And you know, if I decide I don't want to make all of them, there's lots of alternate layouts that I've seen on the internet. And I may choose to do like an Irish chain type of layout or a 9-patch layout with these little blocks is some of those patches. So that's what I've learned so far. Perseverance, endurance, letting go of expectations of myself, and letting the process teach me how to apply lessons that I've learned from Dear Jane into my everyday life. Thank you for joining me this week. I hope that you have lessons that you've learned from quilting, and at the same time, let this be a process of learning, a process of relaxing and enjoying our craft, and a process of playing with fabric. I really want to approach this as play to achieve the zen and the reason why I quilt. It's so much fun, even when it's a challenge. Have a most wonderful week. I will see you next time, and quilt on, everyone.